In our last session, we learned about procedure, how to create a procedure, and how to create a simple procedure which returns one input, one output parameter, and another example which returns a table as an output to the procedure. And now in today's example, we are going to learn about how to create a procedure which writes data into one of the database table by using insert statement. Okay, so now this example we are going to learn. So what is our scenario? Our scenario here is we are creating one database table without any data. Okay, and using my and we are creating a procedure where we are creating a procedure where it fetches data from one of the existing table in our database and writes data into the new table. Okay, so this is the scenario that we are going to cover today. So let's go into the system. I'm closing the existing ones. So now for this one, first of all, we have sales underscore one table available in our system with this data. Okay. Now what we are going to do is we are going to create a new table of similar structure. Okay. We are going to create a new table of similar structure, or or else why similar structure? Let's create a table with some different structure, like only few fields from it. Okay, in my PPT, what you can see in this screen here, this example, this particular example is showing of a similar structure. But now in our session, let's create one example with only few columns only from here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one table, create new table, sales underscore 4, and then I'm going to create some value fields here, doc underscore number, varchar 10, and then material yeah. Varchar 18, let's say customer varchar 10. Yeah, let's take only 3 columns so far. Okay, na? For our example, let's create a table with only these 3 columns and activate it, execute. So a new table was created now here, sales underscore 4. Now do we have any data in this particular table? Open content. So far there is no data in this particular table. Now what we are going to do, we are going to now create a procedure which fetches data from this table and insert records into my new table. Okay, this is our scenario. Now let's go to our repository section, and then go to our package, right click, new, other, procedure, stored procedure, click on next and provide some name, procedure underscore sales underscore 3. My target schema, I am giving my schema name HANA user. You can give your own schema name here. Finish. So now one important point here is, yeah, first of all, let's keep some default schema name, HANA user. Okay, and this procedure, am I expecting any output of this, output from this procedure? But I want to give some input to the procedure, but I don't want any output from this procedure, because my intention of this procedure, my requirement here is to write data to a database table, not to the output screen. Earlier 2 examples, what we learned is returning output to my console, but this procedure requirement is to write data to a database table. Okay, that's why I am not writing any out parameter, but only in parameter. I am passing material as an input. That's it. Okay, and here there is one change in the definition. What is that? I need to comment out this particular one row. because this particular procedure is not meant for, is not meant for reading purpose. This procedure is meant for writing data into a database table. In that case, we need to comment out this particular read SQL data as. Okay, so you need to comment it out, and but we need this as keyword. Okay, so begin, within this begin and end, you have to write your code. So this goes little bit complex because listen carefully here. So first of all, what is the mechanism? What was the logic we are going to write in our procedure? The logic here is, first point is, we need to read data from our database table and store it in one cursor. Okay, you see declare cursor LT sales. So we need to define one cursor to store data, to read data, to store data which we are reading via using select statement. So this cursor stores the information, and then cursor is nothing but one internal table kind here. Okay, so for this cursor, what we are going to do, we are going to write one for loop. You see, for cursor and end for. This particular for end for acts as a looping statement for our internal table. So for example, if this select statement is returning 10 records, then this for between and for will run for 10 times, each for each record in my LT underscore sales table. And for each record, what it is going to do, it is going to yeah, for after for I defined one cur underscore row as a local work area. In terms of ABAP, I'm talking in terms of ABAP, but if you don't know ABAP also, it's no problem. What happening is, I can explain in an Excel sheet how exactly this mechanism works. So let's try to write the code. Yes. Let's go into the system and write the code. Then I will try to explain how this code works in the Excel sheet. Okay. So first what I am going to do is, I am going to declare one cursor like this. Okay. Declare cursor, and then I am going to write this SQL statement. Declare cursor. Okay. And my cursor name is, let's say LT underscore sales only. Okay. After this, sales for, I am writing one for keyword and then the select statement. So declare cursor LT sales. So this cursor is for what? My select statement, for select what I am going to select from my table. Yeah, I can write select star also, or if you want, you can write select whatever fields you required from this table. Select star from my table name. So what is my database table where I contains data? Sales underscore 1 I am giving here, and semicolon. Okay. Now what exactly it is doing here? Where I am writing, I must write where condition also, because I am passing material as an input to get only that information. Where material is equal to material. This material acts as a local variable, what we are passing as an input parameter to this procedure. Okay. So now let's open Excel sheet and try to understand how this procedure works step by step. Now what will happen? LT underscore sales, one table, system creates. No, not within the local area. I'm telling, not database table. So LT sales is a cursor. This cursor system creates, and this cursor holds the output of this table. So what is my output here? My output is nothing but this is 1001, 1003, and 1005. So it contains 1001 document number with what was the other information? April 1st, 2022, 0401. Sorry, 0401, April 1st. Oh my God, it's difficult. Let me take one screenshot. Yeah, instead of, I can keep this screenshot also. Yeah, these are the highlighted records: 1001, 1003, 1005. These three records will be stored for, for understanding purpose. I'm giving only the document number here, LT sales 1001, 1003, and 1005. These three records will be stored in my LT sales cursor. So what is my next step? What is my next step in my database procedure? Now I am going to write one loop statement. Now I want to loop to my table. So for further after for you need to write one cursor sales. So you need to write in this way: for cursor row as LT underscore sales do, and this is the looping statement. So you are starting with end do, right, and then you need to end with end for. In between these two you need to write your logic. So this is the complete statement for and end for. This is the looping statement. You need to for cursor, this is again one local variable, okay, local work area kind for your internal table, and then you are ending with end for. Do means this is the perform the below action. Okay, what exactly it is doing is, if I come to Excel sheet, so for LT sales is it internal table like this, which holds data April 1st and M1 quantity 100 pieces, and 1003 is April 2nd, M1 quantity 100 again pieces, and 1005 March 1st, M1 and quantity 100 pieces. So the LT sales contains three records. Now what I am doing, I am writing for cur underscore sales. So for cur underscore sales is nothing but a work area which holds only one record at a time. Which holds only one record at a time. Now when this for loop started, what will happen is my cursor will be here. Okay. Sorry. Now this particular record will be copied into my work area like this. Okay. So now what happens? For this work area, whatever record stored in this particular one, now I am going to perform my loop statement. So here what we need to do is, since we are expecting output into my another database table, where it is contains three records, I am going to define three local variables. Okay. Declare, how I declared in my here, I'm the same way I'm going to declare some three local variables. Okay, so declare lv underscore doc underscore number varchar of length 10 semicolon, declare lv underscore material varchar of 10 18, declare keyword, declare lv underscore customer varchar of 10. So why I defined these three variables? Because my output structure contains three different columns, right? So for these three columns, I defined three different local variables. Now what I am going to do is, for each local variable, LV, sorry, not in this way. In this way, we need to write this statement. LV underscore doc underscore number is equal to, okay, equal to operator must be colon equal to cur underscore sales dot doc underscore number. So what exactly this means? Cur underscore sales is my work area. So this is my cur underscore sales. Here document number means this is my document number column information. What it contains exactly? It contains 1001. So what will happen? My local variable lv document number, it is nothing but here I am created three variables, right? Lv doc underscore number, lv material, lv underscore material, and lv underscore customer. These are my three local variables. So what will happen now is when I say cur sales document number, then this particular 1001 will store in my local variable LV document number. Okay, it is storing here. Next is LV underscore material equal to cur underscore sales material. Done. Now LV underscore customer. So this customer information is available in my internal table, in my table LT sales. No, right? Customer is not there. So, but I want to hard code this customer to C1 in my output table. Okay. So I am giving C1. Here C1 is a constant value I am giving to customer. So for all the records which I am going to update, all records will contain customer C1 only. So after defining the data to the local variables, now simply what you can do is you can write one insert statement. Insert. We learned insert statement earlier, right? Insert into table name values. These are values. So insert into table name. Which table you want to insert? Sales underscore 4. Okay. After that, values. What values you want to pass? LV. Remember, LV document number is a local variable. When you are defining any local variable value assignment, you must give columns like this, comma. For better representation, I am giving in this way: colon LV underscore material, colon LV underscore customer. That's it. These are the three columns that are available under this table structure. So I am passing three values, semicolon. That's it. We are done with the code. Now what happened? Initially I am reading information like M1 here, and I given hard coded value C1 here. So once my local variables contains data, then what I did, I written one insert statement to to pass data into my new table. So how many records will be inserted here now? One record will be inserted here. Okay. So if I click on execute button now, activate. Let's activate this procedure. So procedure activated successfully. Now I can go to my systems tab to see my procedure. Where is my procedures? Like here, right click, refresh. So what is my procedure name? Procedure is proc underscore sales 3. H underscore Anita proc underscore sales 3. Now I am going to my HANA SQL, HANA SQL command prompt. Here I am trying to call my procedure. So my procedure contains only one input parameter. So I am passing M1 as an input parameter and then executing my procedure. You see here the output below statement, because my procedure does not returns any output, but it is giving one statement called execute successfully. Okay. Now if I go to my new table, refresh my table, I can see data. You see 1003 records came, 1135. Like this, if I try to execute one more time, because we not defined any primary key to my internal table, now it is allowing duplicate records. That's why defining primary key for internal table is very important. Okay, or else you may get like this. So for example, if I execute my procedure with M2, now this time M2 data will be read from this existing table and writes into my new table. So this is how we create a procedure which writes data into a database table. We can optimize this code further. Let me check whether it will work or not. This here in this particular code, I tried to cover multiple concepts. How to define a local variable concept I defined. For example, if you want to perform some operations, for example, you have quantity in your table, you want to perform some operations, that also you can do using these local variables and then write into your insert statement. Okay. But this was a very simple example to understand and define, more concepts covered here. Instead of defining three different variables, what we can do is, why should I need, I think, this part also I can comment by giving comments in this way. Now what I will try is, instead of defining local variables, why can't we pass directly this one only? And here I want to hard code with C1, correct? So now let's try to activate our procedure. Procedure activated, and then I'm going to command prompt. I'm executing it for M3 material. Click on execute. You see procedure executed successfully, and if I go to my table and refresh, I can see M3 data also. So here in my example, the declaration part and this here assignment part is extra to the existing content, but we are learning how to define local variables here and how to assign values from the local work area into a local variable and then pass it to the insert statement. You can optimize your code, but when learning, better to learn concepts more, and when you implement it, implement as per your own logical abilities. That's what I can say. So that's all for today. How to create a procedure to insert data into a local database table by reading it from another table. Okay, I hope it is clear. Okay, I'm stopping recording.